All right, we have myself on the Chaos Dwarves versus Dav Plays on the Empire. If you watched the live stream recently, we did run out of things to do for a little bit, so I did end up casting this game on stream. But it's still a good one. It's still worth the wider audience being able to see it. And I haven't done any Chaos Dwarf replay uploads or anything, so I'll do this and another one, and then I'll do some of the really good games from the live patch, and then we'll be all on the Chaos Dwarf patch together. Sound good? Sounds good. There's my whole YouTube plan for you, and you didn't ask for it at all. Also, something I mentioned on the live stream, someone in the comments was talking about the green aura. I can still show it when I do spacebar, but I tried to make the camera a little more enjoyable for people, so let me know what you think about the new, less jerky camera and less highlights. All right. There's green tiles on the floor where they're going, but I'm not changing that because that would make it really hard for you to play the game. Okay? Okay. Anyway. For the Chaos Dwarves, I took 2 Skullcrackers because I'm an idiot. I didn't realize the Skullcrackers had the exact same stats as the Iron Demons, so I might as well have taken them for cheaper and with the ranged attack. But we do have 2 of those Skullcrackers. We have 2 Centaur, Bull Centaur Renders with great weapons, 2 Hobgoblin Spear Riders paired with them, a front line of Goblin Laborers and Orc Laborers, and then a back line of 2 Chaos Dwarves, Infernal Guard Fire Glaives. And I did bring the Blazing Beards ROR Chaos Dwarves. The reason I do this, I mentioned on stream, is that Orc Laborers and Goblin Laborers do have a passive. They only get 8 leadership if they're near Chaos Dwarf units, so I like to intersperse it through my lines. Also, you have Drazoth the Ashen, cheap caster lord that can be on foot and is a decent combatant. He does have damage resist and melee damage reflection when he's surrounded by goons, which the Empire has a lot of goons. He also gives +8 leadership to other dwarf type units around him. And he brought the big spooky hammer spell. On the other side for Dav Plays, he does have Ulrika Magdova with Melkoths and Enfeebling Foe, running around with Marcus Wolfhart with his net and nothing else. We have 2 War Wagons, a Hellstorm Rocket Battery, the Hammer of the Witches, 2 Pistoliers, a bunch of Halberdiers, Greatswords, Spearmen, and 1 Empire Knight. So Chaos Dwarfs have been taking a shellacking on the advance. There's only so much the Hellstorm and the Cannon can do to really blunt this assault. Meanwhile, the Skirmish Cav are doing good work on the Hobgoblins and the Bull Centaurs. On the other side, the Hobgoblins and the Bull Centaurs try to take this opportunity, think maybe Dav is asleep at the wheel, maybe I can get some poke onto those War Wagons, but they do turn around, they start rolling away, and that's going to be a big fat whoopsie. As now there are Halberdiers and Empire Knights crashing into these Bull Centaurs, and the War Wagons are free and clear. But the first of the hammers does come out. Bap! Almost deleting a Spearman unit and trying to get the Goblins and the Chaos Dwarves moving on through that front line and pressuring these backfields. So we do have the 2 Skullcrackers piercing through the Spearman lines, doing a bit of disruption damage over there. I think Marcus is going to net that one soon. Yeah, there it goes, so it gets netted. The other one has moved on to Greatswords. Try to churn through them before they actually get to the real Chaos Dwarf infantry units, because Greatswords would do pretty well there. On the backfield, Pistoliers have been kiting out the Hobgoblins, but now cornered. Yes, now cornered, they will actually take a lot of damage and maybe even get pushed off by those Hobgoblins. Meanwhile, the Bull Centaur from the upper region is coming down into the middle, realizing chasing Skirmish Cav around is pretty bad. These guys finally get out of the net, they get out of the Halberdiers, and so Chaos Dwarf Warriors are just ordered past the front line to really harass the War Wagons, though something needs to stop this Hellstorm Rocket Battery. Looks like the Skullcracker might get that order, but something has to stop it from shooting. It has plenty of ammo left, so you really don't want to leave that one alone. Skullcracker is trying to get it down. It does cause terror, so it might get them terror out. Looks like it might. There we go. Infernal Ironglaive are firing onto Ulrika right now. Hammer of the Witches is still unimpeded. Pistoliers have cleared out the top area. Hobgoblins did kill those guys in the corner, but now it is moving back into the field. Bull Centaurs have caught War Wagons. They're doing a bit of damage here. But the Infernal Guard with their Fire Glaives are still good. They're still chilling. Doing lots of damage to Ulrika, poking down that vampire lady for the good of us all. Pistoliers have gotten up on the flank. Looks like Bell Centaur Raiders are going to try and catch them. But Pistoliers aren't that big of a threat to the Infernal Iron Guard. Meanwhile, Drazarath is running up the hill to disrupt the Hammer of the Witches, and he throws down a hammer of his own on the Halberdiers. Pretty much going to instantly rout that unit as the Skullcracker is following up on him. Ironglaives are stuck fighting Greatswords. While they have decent melee stats at 31, 43, their bonuses versus large, and the Great Swords have a bonus versus infantry, so they'll do quite well here. The Iron Glaives will need some help. Meanwhile, Chaos Dwarves and all these goblins are piercing the back line. Looks like the Hellstorm Rocket Battery was shut down. Ulrika and Marcus are still poking away at the big Skullcrackers, and Hobgoblins plus Drazarath are going to shut down Drazarath? Drazwolf. I hate that guy's name. I mean, it's a cool name. I hate casting it. But the Hammer of the Witches will get shut down by him. The War Wagons are still kind of going nuts. One of them did manage to get caught by the Bull Centaurs for long enough to knock 2 of their models out. But with the Bull Centaurs routing, that guy will probably rally in a matter of moments. The Iron Glaives have taken a lot of damage from these Greatswords, but now with 2 Skullcrackers down here to try and pierce these guys off, they do with a Terror Route, and they will chase them off, while the Iron Glaives continue shooting at Ulrika, who's now down to about half HP. They were disrupted from their local friendly neighborhood shooting of Ulrika, but they're back now. In the distance, Hobgoblin Riders are going to chase down the Hammer of the Witches crew, but they get caught on some Halberdiers for a bit. Drazarath is going to go over and help them out. Skullcrackers are still just going wild on the Empire infantry without real Demigryph Knights or Knights of any kind outside of that one Empire Knight that is currently dying to Chaos Dwarves. There's not a lot of mass to stop my Skullcrackers from going and doing whatever they want. Bounce power is up for the Chaos Dowie. They're feeling good. They're feeling supreme. War Wagons chase off the last of these Centaur Riders, killing his little buddy there and pushing him off the map. So bounce power favors me. How are we actually feeling? More Greatswords get onto my Infernal Guard. Don't like that at all. I need to pull over another Skullcracker to really buzzsaw through them and cause that terror once again, but they should be peeled off rather quickly. Goblin Laborers are coming up, but Wolfheart in the back is dealing with this other Skullcracker quite nicely. Not taking too much damage from it, only has 200 weapon strength and 38 melee attack. With his 45 melee defense, he'll be alright. It has bonus for inventory stuff, it's just not ludicrous that he didn't instantaneously die. Drazoth has returned, his Chaos Warriors nearby. They're actually pretty healthy for this stage of the game. 2 Skullcrackers, though this one does get netted down, and Ulrich is shooting it, plus Marcus is shooting it. That's a lot of damage. I feel like this thing dies really suddenly. Damn. Yeah, it's getting bodied down there. The net wore off, and it now gets orders to move, but it was too late. Another Skullcracker is grouping up the Halberdiers. I was running over here to throw a nice, juicy hammer down on them. And take that. So the Halberdiers will be pushed off. War Wagons are still firing. Ulrika and Marcus are firing as well, but everybody's looking a little low on ammunition. And outside of their skirmish units, all the Empire really has is this super beat-up halberd. Everything else is pretty pathetic. Ulrika's decent, but she's at 1/3 HP. Her ammunition is gone, so she's going for it. And the Skullcracker is taking a bit of a step back, as the Infernal Guard are going to fire back. Their health bar is really low, but they're at half models, so they're still half firing strength, and the War Wagons do need to respect it. But without them, the Skullcracker can get out and about. I will bring him back later when he's safer from Marcus Wolfheart and those War Wagons. Infernal Guard do just get to push up, and since I have some infantry here stopping the last of the Halberdiers, last of the real melee units, the Infernal Guard have nothing to fear, so they just move up, and they're going to trade pretty heavily with these War Wagons in a second. Bam! 2 models, close to 1. And realizing they're not winning that trade, they are going to try and back off now. Maybe a few lingering shots will chase them, but looks like they're okay. Ulrika joined the fight for a moment to get Melkoth's, my poor defenseless Chaos Dwarves, but with Drazaroth nearby, he does give them +8 melee attack, which is good for them. And they're trying to finish off these Halberdiers. Infernal Guard's still pushing up, but they are just trying to zone the War Wagons from really getting involved in this fight. These guys are only 500 HP. Taking even that little of a volley brings them down to 1 model, -20 leadership, and they run away. Other War Wagon is now a melee unit. It's all out of ammo. Drazoth trying to finish off the last of these Empire State troops with the help of his Chaos Warriors friends, and we do still have a Skullcracker, a nice terror piece for the late game, off chasing some great swords, making sure they don't return, but also buying time, as Marcus is down to 2 shots, and the only War Wagon with ammo is running off the map. Yet another hammer from the lad, from the mad boy, Drazoth, though the hammer itself does knock Marcus away, so he starts to chase it, and then he realizes, I should probably kill Ulrika and not let her just heal off of me. Ulrika does have pretty good combat stats, but Drazoth is no slouch. And he does fire damage. I don't think she's weak to fire, though. Yeah, she's fine. But not that fine. I mean, she is still fighting the mightiest lord of the Chaos Dwarves. And it's kind of beating her ass. She's going to run away. Let Marcus get some free shots at him. Balance Power's back to the middle. As the Ironglaives continue fighting, but against Spearmen and War Wagons, they're a little outnumbered. And, oh, a nasty Melkoth is probably going to finish them off. They don't have any spell resist. These aren't like normal dwarves. So I'm watching their health bar on the left, but we can watch the duel on the screen. Yeah, Melkoth's like straight up killed them. 12 HP, damn. Feebling Foe trying to make Drazoth bad, but joke's on you. Drazoth is never bad. He just puts a flamethrower in her belly, takes her down to crumbling, and finishes her off for good measure. Crumbling finishes her, actually. But I like to think he did. He got her to 5 HP, then the crumbling got her, but still. Skullcracker's trying to come in to help. Marcus takes a nasty shot from Drazoth, who is just carrying this game on his back. Skullcracker joins in, trying to tear out off these fools, trying to get him off of his lord. 300 HP. Marcus walks up to the hill. He has one shot left in his bow. He's going to knock his arrow, and just because he's a stylish gentleman, he's not even going to straight fire it. He's going to lob. Boo, woo, bap. And that is my last friend in the whole world gone. I have some goblin laborers. There's no hope they're coming back. And that is it. Oh, I also have some orc laborers. There's no hope they're coming back. So Drazoth is in there, being a Superman, superhero, super genius. Fighting Marcus Wolfheart, some War Wagons, some Cycle Charging Pistoliers, which is a bit annoying. And, ooh, a great sword unit. That could be the death of him. Balance Power thinks he's got this easily, but he is down to 2,000 HP. Marcus technically has more. He's not invincible. He's just a dwarf, so tanky. Marcus gets the Cycle Charge in, runs past him. Can't see if he got any damage off. He did not. He missed his attack, but the Pistoliers are back. Still not hitting him. His impressive 65 melee defense keeping him very, very safe. There we go. He lost some health at last. Marcus starts to charge in. Drazoth continues to fight. The Pistoliers pull away, and for some reason, he holds the hammer. He doesn't want to use the hammer yet. Now he starts it up just as the Pistoliers are charging in, and even though they try to run away, they still lose about 500 HP, and that clears out the great swords as well. A masterfully done trap, Drazoth. Masterfully done. Only the most skilled of players could have played Chaos Dwarves. Because it's me. Because I'm the Chaos Dwarf player. At this point, Bounce Power is getting decently in my favor. 1,600 health left on Drazoth, only 1,300 on Marcus. That is starting to look pretty good for the dwarf as long as he doesn't break. He starts clubbing around War Wagons. He's now trapped in the War Wagons, so he can't really get out. Drazoth does get down to 1,400 HP. Nasty shot onto Marcus Wolfheart. Marcus runs up. He's going for one last Cycle Charge. He goes in, but a brutal slicing shuriken of flame to the face. And Mr. Wolfheart decides he's had enough. Army loss hits. GG. 2,700 value on Azeroth. Bull Centaurs got kited pretty effectively, but the Infernal Guard with their Fire Glaives did great. Skullcrackers are really good for support. Dwarf Warriors did Dwarf Warrior things. They were fine. Hobgoblins did quite nicely, and my chaff was chaffy. On the other side, Marcus Wolfheart did great. Marcus Ulrika, yes. Ulrika did well. The Hellstorm and the Cannon did okay. They struggled a little bit. War Wagons did fine. Great Swords were good too. The Empire Knights got largely bodied. Halberdiers did well. Pistoliers, I thought in game it felt like they were doing more, but then they got middling value at best. And Spearmen did fine. So it was close. It was very, very close. Roar! Subscribe, yes, yes.